The alien queen touched my scar and whispered, "That's where my heart is beginning." The war between humans and the Seraphins had lasted 17 brutal years. It wasn't fought for land or gold, but for survival. The Seraphins, beings of radiant light and crystalline flesh, came from the Andarian Nebula, claiming that Earth's oceans contain a mineral essential to their existence, Litharian, the source of their life force. Humanity refused to surrender it, and the stars burned ever since. I was just a soldier once, Captain Leon Vance, commander of the 5th Orbital Defense Division, but those titles had stopped meaning anything when my ship, the Dauntless, fell into Seraphin space. I was the only survivor after a plasma mine tore through our hull. They found me drifting unconscious, blood freezing in my veins. I should have been executed on sight. Instead, I woke up on their world, Orethia, a planet of glass and light, with a sky shimmer like molten gold. At first, I thought it was heaven. Then I realized it was a prison. The Seraphin guards rarely spoke. Their language was melodic, part song, part telepathy. I learned that I was being kept alive by order of the queen. No one told me why. Every day I was brought food, some shimmering liquid that tasted like honey and lightning, and every night I was taken to a chamber of light to heal. I didn't understand what they were healing until I saw my reflection one morning. The scar across my chest, the one I'd earned when my ship went down, was no longer jagged and ugly. It glowed faintly, as if lit from beneath the skin. That was when I first met her. The alien queen of Orethia, known to her people as Alindra Vare. She entered my chamber surrounded by orbs of floating light, her body shimmering like crystal under moonlight, her eyes, liquid silver, fixed on my chest. "You carry the wound Litharian," she said in perfect English, her voice layered with harmonic tones. I froze. "You can speak my language?" "I can speak your heart," she replied simply. Then she reached forward, tracing her fingers over the glowing scar. The moment her touch met my skin, I felt an electric pulse run through me. Not pain, something deeper, like recognition. "That," she whispered softly, "is where my heart used to be." Middle. Days became weeks. I was no longer treated as a prisoner, but as something else. A guest, perhaps. Elindra often visited me, sometimes bringing strange flowers that pulsed with light, other times asking questions about Earth, about our oceans, our stars, our songs. I tried to keep my answers short, guarded, but she had a way of making me talk. Her presence was calming, almost hypnotic. When she spoke, her words echoed in my mind like music. One night, as we stood beneath Orethia's twin moons, she revealed a truth that shattered everything I thought I knew. "The Seraphins did not come to conquer your world," she said. "We came to return to it." I frowned. "Return? What are you talking about?" She turned, her body glowing faintly in the lunar light. "Our ancestors were born on your Earth long ago, before your species even walked upright. We left when the atmosphere could no longer sustain us. The mineral you call Litharian was once our lifeblood, scattered in your seas. When we found traces of it again, we thought Earth was calling us home. But you started a war," I said bitterly. "No," she replied, eyes dimming. "You did. The first shots were human. The revelation cut deep. Could it be true? Had humanity's fear sparked a war that consumed billions?" As I struggled to process her words, I asked her something that had haunted me since she first touched my scar. "What did you mean when you said this?" I tapped my chest. "Was where your heart used to be?" Elindra hesitated, then gestured for me to follow her. She led me through corridors of living crystal until we emerged into a vast chamber. In its center floated a pulsating orb of light, bright, rhythmic, alive. "This is the core of Orethia," she said softly. "It contains fragments of every Seraphin heart that has ever lived. When a queen is born, her heart is divided. Half remains within her, half merges with the core. My other half was taken when your people attacked our outpost near the Terran Belt." I stared at her. "You're saying a piece of you was on my ship?" Her eyes locked with mine. "Not on your ship. In you." The world spun around me. Suddenly, everything made sense. The glowing scar, the strange visions I'd been having, the feeling that I could sense her even when she wasn't there. Somehow, when my ship exploded, a fragment of her heart, her essence, had fused into me. I thought I was dying. I whispered, "But you were saving me." "I was trying to," she said, her voice trembling. "You were caught in the blast meant for me. When our energies collided, part of me became part of you." We stood there in silence, the core humming gently around us. For the first time since the war began, I didn't see an alien. I saw someone who'd lost as much as I had. From that moment, our bond deepened. She taught me how to channel the energy in my scar, how to sense the world the way her kind did, through light and vibration. In return, I taught her about Earth's music, poetry, and the strange beauty of human imperfection. Sometimes we simply sat in silence, our thoughts intertwined without words. I began to realize that the connection between us wasn't just biological. It was something far older, far deeper. One evening, as we watched the auroras dance across the Erethian sky, she whispered, "Do you know why our kind fear humans?" I shook my head. "Because you feel so much," she said. "You break, yet you love again. You die, yet you dream." I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I reached for her hand, half expecting her to pull away. She didn't. For the first time, the alien queen smiled. But peace is fragile. When word spread that Alindra was bonded to a human, her council rebelled. The Seraphim High Regent called it blasphemy, a dilution of their sacred essence. They demanded my execution, claiming I had corrupted their queen. "They will not harm you," Alindra vowed, her voice shaking with fury. "You are part of me now." But even queens can't stop war. One night, the Citadel came under attack, not by humans, but by her own people. The regents had allied with a splinter faction who sought to end her rule and reignite the war with Earth. "Leon," she said as explosions shook the city, "you must leave." "I'm not leaving without you. You don't understand. If they kill you, the other half of my heart dies too, and with it Orethia." Before I could respond, she pressed her palm against my scar. It burned with searing light, flooding my body with energy. "I'm giving you the rest of me," she whispered. "Keep it safe until the stars remember peace." The last thing I saw before the light engulfed me was her face, radiant, defiant, heartbroken, and then darkness. Ending. I woke up 3 days later aboard a Terran rescue craft, orbiting the wreckage of Orethia. My body felt like it was on fire, but the medics said I had no wounds. In fact, they couldn't explain how I'd survived it all. The war had ended. The Seraphim rebellion had collapsed from within, their energy sources destabilized after the fall of the Queen. But I knew better. She wasn't gone. Every night since that day, when I closed my eyes, I could feel her presence. Faint but real, pulsing in time with my heartbeat. The light in my scar still glowed softly, as if whispering her name through my veins. For months, I lived on the orbital station horizon, serving as a liaison between the remaining Seraphim and human delegates. The two sides were rebuilding, trying to understand each other instead of destroying. Sometimes, I'd walk to the observation deck and stare at the blue shimmer of Earth below. That's when I'd hear her voice, soft as a breeze. "Do you still feel me, Leon?" "Always." Then one evening, something strange happened. The light in my scar began to pulse faster, not painfully, but rhythmically, like a heartbeat calling out across space. I followed the pulse of the comm array, where a technician was picking up a faint energy signal, a signature that matched no known human or Seraphim frequency. "It's coming from the edge of the nebula," the tech said, astonished. I didn't need to ask who it was. I just whispered, "Alindra." Without permission, I took a shuttle and followed the signal. It led me through debris fields, through ancient wreckage, until I reached a glowing rift, a tear in space that pulsed like a living heart. Her voice filled my mind again, stronger this time. "You carried me well, Leon Vance. Now it's time to bring me home." Before I could respond, the shuttle systems flickered, and the scar on my chest burst into light. The rift opened wider, and for a brief moment, I saw her, not as a queen of Orethia, but as pure radiant energy, the embodiment of everything she had ever been. She reached out, her hand forming from light and memory. When her fingers brushed my scar, the pain and love and longing of two worlds collided into one heartbeat. "That's where my heart is," she whispered again, the same words she'd spoken the day we met. And then she was gone. The rift sealed itself, leaving only silence and starlight behind. But something had changed inside me. The light in my scar no longer pulsed wildly. It was steady now, calm, like a second heartbeat beating in harmony with my own. When I returned to Earth, no one believed what I'd seen. The official record listed the Orethian queen as deceased. But sometimes when I walked beneath the night sky, the stars shimmered brighter than usual, and I could swear I heard her laughter carried in the solar winds. Years passed. The peace between humans and Seraphims held. The two species began to share technology, art, even children. The line between us blurred, as if the universe itself had finally exhaled. I grew older, but the scar never faded. In moments of quiet, it would glow softly, a reminder that somewhere out there, among the nebulae, the other half of my heart still watched over me. And sometimes, when the stars were just right, I'd feel a gentle warmth on my chest, like a hand resting there, her hand. That's when I'd whisper back, into the dark between worlds, "I still feel you, Alindra. Always." and though no one else could hear it, the starlight would flicker in reply, like a heartbeat made of light, whispering across eternity. That's where my heart is.